Hello, everybody. My name is Jason from Con+3, and I am here today with James from Feral Games Inc. How are you doing today, mate?
Hello, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, good.
Awesome. So since we last, met you for the first time, really, at the expo last year, you've been very busy with lots of new supplements. I've been noticing a lot of new things out on Drive-Thru, for example. Um,
Yeah,
in particular, Ghost Ops being like that was kind of your main system certainly last year that you were promoting. You've released a lot of new stuff for that.
yeah.
Now I know that there's a big Facebook group as well like there's a lot of stuff going on in that group with regards to Ghost Ops. With these new supplements, did they did they kind of give you any inspiration, or did they even have any influence on what you were writing, or is it more a case of you know already what you're going to put on the paper?
Well, there's always influence. I mean, I do tend to put a lot of questions up in the group, asking what people want, or in particular what they want to see. And what they talk about obviously influences what I write because a lot of them are ex-military or current military, so they do have some influence. I think one of the things I did last year, which wasn't available when you last spoke to me, was Joint Task Force, which actually isn't written by me at all. It's actually written by a member of the group who's actually a retired Marine sergeant. So yeah, some of the stuff is actually written by other people, actually in the group, and all we're doing is really just publishing it and sticking it out for them, really, which I think is great. I mean, if a community can get involved with the game, then that's a bonus,
Hmm.
really. If they can produce stuff and they can get their name in print or in a book or on a PDF and be proud of what they've done, that's another that's another you know bonus to us, really. I think it's great to see people being excited about what something. A lot of people don't get the opportunity or have us too scared to, or don't think they've got to be good enough, or whatever the reason. So by encouraging people to do things, it does help. I think
Yeah, absolutely.
it's something I strive towards for everything we do, really.
Mm. And it's good as well that they have the opportunity to kind of give a bit of their experience or their expertise and kind of make it a collaborative effort.
Well, at the moment, I'm currently working where we're going to be. Well, I'm going to be currently working on Ghost Ops Second Strike, which is the second printing, the second edition of it, and that a lot of that's going to be based upon feedback from the groups and from what people have played. A lot of people have sent me information how they've home ruled their games, home brewed it and stuff, and from all of those things, I'm going to be basically getting together and redoing the game completely. A lot of it will stay the same, so it'll be compatible with everything that's been released before, but a few things will change based on feedback from the group.
Okay, cool. Now I was a little bit surprised when I saw that it is kind of mainly around the fudge system or fate system, because for me anyway, seeing sort of there's lots of specifics in there about sort of military details and stats for this, so I thought it would be more kind of maybe a bit more crunchy than that. So what made you decide to go for something kind of large than life like Fate?
Well, it's more fudge than fate, I guess,
Okay.
because it doesn't have a lot of the things that make fate different to fudge. So, for example, in Fate, you have aspects and stunts and that sort of stuff, which aren't doesn't exist in Ghost Ops,
Okay.
um, and also don't exist in Fudge. So, it's more of a kind of a Fudge derivative, I guess. But I really went with it because it's quick, and I wanted something that felt sort of cinematographic, felt like you're in a movie, right? So it
Yeah.
kind of felt kind of movie based, or very much like in a computer game where things are very fast and quick, and you don't have to sort of sit there rolling dice to see if you do this and do. It was meant to be. It's meant to be quick, and I think that was a very important aspect. And when I was trying out various systems for it when I first started writing it, for some reason, fudge just seemed to work. I like the concept of the fudge dice. It tells you exactly what you need to know very quickly. Um, it's quick and it just uses four dice, and that's it for everything. And that just seems to me to be it just seemed to click with the system completely. Just seemed to
Yeah.
click. So, so yeah.
Cool. Okay. In the meantime, as well, I've noticed a few more books, as I mentioned, going up onto the shelves or the virtual shelves, but quite a lot of them seem to be either new OSR systems or OSR based systems, and you've even done like a supplement for Ghost Ops if people want to go out all OSR. So, what what made you decide to go down the OSR route for some of your newer stuff?
Because it was easy, I think. I quite like OSR games, and I'm currently in an OSR game at the moment. But I kind of like the OSR because it is simple and it's fast, and people seem to like it. And I think for certain things, it kind of just kind of lends itself. I think the main one has been kind of From the Ashes, which was based upon the sort of wizardry and sorcery sort of book, which just adds a kind of setting to it, really. And it was kind of people seemed to like it. And then recently after that we did Delve Second Edition, which is kind of a mix between D&D and D100, really. So it's got a D100 system. So I wouldn't say it's very OSR. It lends itself a little bit to D&D with the progression system, how you level up and so forth. And there's elements of that in there. And that's really because I felt it added sort of familiarity to the game for a lot of people, even though it uses a D100 mechanic, which in itself is very simple anyway. And then recently we've done Hunters of the Chalice Lands, which was my fusion of 5th edition and OSR. So you've got your proficiency bonuses from 5th edition, but you've got your basic non-skills, roll your stat from the OSR. But we're throwing in things like talents, which are kind of like feats, I suppose, but they're a bit more more interesting, I think. And that seems to be going quite well, and people seem to like it. I mean, I do like the OSR. I do think sometimes it's a bit oversimplistic, and it can be a little bit quite deadly. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of create something that was kind of deadly, but not to the point where it was ridiculously deadly, like some OSR games are, where you're going to die anyway. Like DCC, for example, where funnelings, you basically take 20 characters in each, and most of them are going to die, and whoever's left alive is the one who kind of gets carried on to the next level or whatever. But I kind of just. And a lot of people ask for it, to be honest. For Ghost Ops, for example, a lot of people were asking for a D20 version. And I didn't want to make a D&D sort of 5th edition derivative of it, but I thought an OSR one would be quite nice. And there's not many OSR games out there that use guns, really. So it was a bit different. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, speaking of Chalice Lands, because, that was one of the ones I spotted first, and that's been out for literally a few weeks, hasn't it? You've only just released that.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. So that again, it's OSR, but it's got a very kind of epic, almost kind of Greek Odyssey type vibe with that. How did you come up with the Chalice Lands as a place?
I was reading a book actually by I can't remember the actual author's name, but I was reading a book, and it was kind of set in this sort of land where these tribal people were kind of herders and stuff, and they had a herd, and this herd was being attacked by monsters, and it was all very tribal and things. And I think that's a really cool idea for a place, for a land that was kind of a bit different, where the whole other land is kind of tribal rather than just an element of it, And it kind of came from that, really. I kind of liked the idea of having a small location which had 3 different aspects to it. So you've got the mountains, you've got the sort of the central sort of Great Plains, and then you've got the kind of desert. And it's all very gritty. It's slavery. There's people who take slaves. There's monsters. There's all this kind of tribal stuff going on. Everybody's kind of connected to their ancestors. And you can call upon ancestor spirits to help you and stuff. And there's shaman rather than mages. All the characters are kind of very sort of Arabic, almost sword and sorcery looking, in a sense where it's kind of similar to what you'll see in the Conan sort of game. And I kind of liked that because it seemed quite simple. It didn't seem too complicated. And I felt that kind of, I don't know, I just felt like in the mood to do something like. And a lot of the times I just feel, that's quite a good idea. I like the idea of that, and I'll just make a game based around it, really.
Yeah, and I suppose you've got like the sort of staples laid out in the rules and in the setting, but you're kind of giving GMs to do what they want with it.
Yeah, the idea was never to do too much, because I want the GMs to basically control the world themselves. So there's like one city in the Great Plains. There's one city in the desert, and after that, they can do what they want. They can throw what they want into it. That's the whole point of it is that I just want my GMs to do that. There is a supplement for it as well called the Land of a Sun Dragon, which is very much samurai in Japanese. So you've got your Ronin, and you've got your monks and so forth, and they live in a completely different part of the land. But there's going to be another one coming out soon, which is based upon pirates, where you can actually travel from the Chalice Lands to the Sun Dragons. So you can actually, have characters from both going into each other. But I kind of just want something that it's just a base, really. It's a foundation for a world that people can just throw in what they want.
Yeah.
How they want it, really, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did mention about Delve, and I wanted to ask you about that. So it's now out in second edition. Apparently it's received a lot of good press, which is fantastic, and I even spotted somebody who had, with your permission, kind of converted it over to a Fantasy Grounds setting application, which is amazing. But an interesting concept, the whole thing of being kind of washed up on a desert island, and you kind of go from there and try and work out where the hell you are and things. Again, where did that come from? Because it's not your usual sort of D&D-esque type setting, really. It's not you start in a tavern and go off on a quest somewhere.
No, I mean, it was because it isn't. I mean, it was kind of like a lot of times when I do stuff is because it hasn't been done, and I think, well, why hasn't it been done? It's kind of obvious, really. Like Ghost Stop started like that. I mean, Ghost Stops, hold on, you've got 4 people in a group, all working with different skills, working together towards the same goal. Why hasn't this been done before, right? So the whole point of being washed up on an island, I felt, well, how would that come across? That would be kind of different, that would be kind of unique and a little bit different to what you'd normally see. It was just that I like kind of writing these kind of off-center games, really, I suppose. And it just seemed like an interesting concept. What would they do with nothing? They had nothing. It's not like you've just come, like you said, a tavern or something. You're always going to have somebody you can buy gear from, and everybody's always fully equipped. But what happens if they're thrown into a situation where they had nothing left? I mean, it was either that or become a prisoner, right? And like Skyrim or whatever, and end up having to escape and have nothing. But I thought, well, if they're shipwrecked on an island that is impossible to get to, kind of lost, like, where they have to find what they have, that makes it kind of interesting, because you're going to have characters running around with a frying pan as a weapon, and or whatever. And it's a situation that most people don't get thrown into in a role-playing game, really.
No, absolutely not. It is very interesting. And as you mentioned, it's sort of D100, D10s based more than anything. So again, what made that change? Because as you said, it's not entirely OSR. It's kind of more. It might have a bit of a gritty vibe of OSR, but with regards to the mechanics.
Because I like D100 systems. I grew up on D100 systems. The first role-playing game I really ever played was RuneQuest, which is a D100 system.
Yeah.
And after that was Rollmaster, which is another D100, then Cthulhu, which is another. So I grew up on it, and it seems just natural for me. And it feels like you have more options in the D100, even though D20 is kind of a D100 sort of condensed. D100 just seems like you have more options with it. You can play around with it more. And I just like D100 systems. That's really reason. It's an easy one to pick up. You roll the dice, it's under, you've done it. It's as simple as that. There's no great mystery to it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And I know that you've got a few sort of supplements out for Delve. So you've got like a companion book, but you've also got these sort of selection of God, the Ever Dead and Other Tales, so like adventures and stuff. Those titles really give off a Monkey Island type vibe for me. Was that the idea?
Well, they're meant to be kind of a bit tongue in cheek. To take the whole thing a little bit. I think sometimes role playing can be a little bit serious. It's all a bit kind of we got to. Whereas these are a little bit more kind of. They are very Monkey Island. You've got the talking statue sort of thing. He's called Eric and lives in a wall, but has all the mysteries of everything, but won't tell you unless you bring him an egg or whatever. Right? And I kind of like that, and it's kind of a bit like Fable as well. If you remember the original Fable game, where they were a bit like Monkey Island, where you'd find weird things that I think there was an actual door that talked, and you had to bring them stuff, and it was like and I love that. I love that kind of fantasy. I think that kind of thing is quite funny, and I think it can be kind of very entertaining, and I think that's an important aspect of role playing. I think that a lot of games kind of miss out on, is the entertainment factor. To get people to chuckle a little bit, have a little bit of a laugh, and play with it,
Yeah.
Another thing with Delve being how it is, you can stick anything on it because of that, because everything is possible. There's no restriction. Sometimes in some games you're restricted by the law, or how the game is, or how the world is, or how dark the place is, or whatever. Whereas with Delve, anything works, really. Just throw anything in it. And if you've got a talking, flower that insists upon taking people on with fights, and he's got a little sword and stuff, you can do that. You can do what you want. It's that's what the fun of it. And I enjoy writing it because it's fun. I throw things in it. And I've got there's another game coming. We've got a new adventure coming out called The Ruins of Windtorn Manor.
Okay.
It's going to be available hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh, okay.
It's set on Delve. It's set on the island of Delve. So.
Fantastic. So it'll be out actually by the time Con+3 comes around.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, that's really fun.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I assume that you would have enjoyed writing them, and you just confirmed that. So what was your favourite one to write?
Game or?
Yeah, as in from Delve, like the Gark series.
Oh right. I don't know. I think I enjoyed all of them because they all have the same kind of flavour to them. I think Gark the other day was fun because it was kind of the one I originally was going to plan doing on its own, and then the other two sort of came along and got thrown in with it because I didn't want to stop. But eventually you run out of dungeon, really. You have to start another one. I don't know. I enjoy all of them, really, for different reasons. Like I'm enjoying this one I'm doing at the moment, Windtorn Manor, because it's funny for a different reason. And it's different, and it's weird, and it's a bit strange, and it's more haunted and stuff. So yeah, I kind of enjoy them all, really. I everything I do, I kind of enjoy. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do it, I don't think.
Yeah, good attitude to have.
Reasons. So. I don't know if you know, but we did a Kickstarter. I did a Kickstarter recently for Stranded.
Ah, okay.
Basically, the sci-fi version of Delve, where you're in a ship and you crash land on a planet, and then you start off like you do a Delve, checking your pockets, seeing what you can find, and you have to basically make your way through a sort of a junk maze of spaceships and satellites that have crashed on this planet to come to a town. So it's kind of sci-fi version of Delve, but it's going to be bigger, and a lot of problems I found with Delve, a lot of things that people have come up with, I'm going to change. So it's going to have a lot more options in it. There's going to be a solo rules in it as well, so you can play the game solo.
Okay.
And this has started me thinking about doing a third edition of Delve as an update and just uploading it, fixing some of the problems with it and stuff. But yeah, so that's coming out this year as well. So if you like your sci-fi games, then that's the one for you.
Brilliant. Cool. But just to round off this, but keeping with the desert island theme, if you were trapped on a desert island and you happen to have a load of RPGs books with you, but unfortunately only one of them survived, from the sea, etc., which one would it be?
Degenesis.
Okay, why is that?
Because there's 2 books, firstly, and there's a lot to read. But yeah, Degenesis, just because it's amazing to look at. I can sit and look at the books for days, just as an art book, and because it's just a great read. But if you meant one of my own games, if only one of my own games survived, which one would it be? I think it would probably be, I don't know. I kind of like them all. Some of them I don't like, so I wouldn't pick those. Some of them I do like. I don't know. It'd be a toss-up between Delve probably and Ghost Ops, I reckon. I think if the main thing would be if I could have a role-playing game and a notepad and pen, that'd be good because I could read a role-playing game and then write one.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Just make it your own.
I wrote. So that would be good. So there, yeah, that'd be good.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much anyway, James, for talking to me today, and thanks for coming back as a sponsor for Con+3. We really appreciate it.
I'm pleased to do it. I mean, it's not much. I'm not rich or anything, but if I can help in some way, that's always a good thing, I think. And I think it doesn't cost anything to help if you can. So it's all good.
All good. Thanks very much.
No problems. Hi, this is Jay from Feral Gamers Inc. Just to say, if you can, please donate to the Butterfly Project. It's very good. We all learn through play, and it's important that everybody gets the opportunity to learn. And if people are learning from playing games and all that stuff, that's brilliant. I mean, that's great. That's what what it's all about. So if you can donate, please donate. If you can't donate, at least share it with people who can. A little thing, and if you're a publisher or anything, just do what you can. I mean, it doesn't take much. It takes no effort whatsoever, and it's a day in your life, and it could change the whole of a life of somebody else. And if it just takes a few hours of your time to change a whole lot of their time, then that's great. So please donate.